Hi everyone, welcome to Psych 309, Personality Psychology. In today's lecture, we're going to introduce the field of personality psych, talk about what personality actually means, why we study it, and the major approaches we'll be covering throughout the course. Personality is one of those topics everyone already has opinions about. We constantly describe people as outgoing, shy, emotional, or reliable, or confident, but in psychology, we try to move beyond casual descriptions and study personality scientifically. Let's start with a simple question. How do you describe someone's personality? Usually, when we think about another person, we immediately start using adjectives, right? Maybe we describe someone as confident, hardworking, easygoing, or reliable. What's interesting is that humans naturally categorize people this way. We are constantly interpreting and evaluating the personalities of people around us. Even outside of psychology, personality becomes a part of how we navigate social life, who we trust, who we become friends with, who we avoid, and even how we understand ourselves. Researchers have found that there are over 20,000 trait descriptive adjectives in the English language alone. That is a huge number, and it tells us something very important. Humans are extremely interested in describing differences between people. We naturally notice patterns in behavior, and then we try to summarize them with personality traits. So, for example, someone who frequently helps others may be described as generous, and someone who avoids social interactions may be called shy, and then someone who takes charge may be seen as confident or dominant. Personality psychology takes these everyday observations and then studies them systematically. So, here is the formal definition of personality. Personality is a set of psychological traits and mechanisms within the individual that are organized and relatively enduring, and that influence interactions with and adaptations to physical and social environments. Now, this definition sounds very complicated at first, so we're going to break it down to piece by piece. First, the definition mentions psychological traits. Traits are characteristics that describe ways people differ from one another. An important point is that traits are about average tendencies, not permanent fixed states. For example, someone who's generally outgoing may still have quiet days, and someone who's usually calm can still become stressed. So traits fluctuate from moment to moment, but across time we tend to show consistent patterns. The definition also says personality exists within the individual. This means personality is relatively stable across situations and over time, just like traits. Even though people adapt to context, there is usually some continuity in how they think, feel, and behave. For instance, a person who is highly conscientious at work is often also organized in other areas of life. And the phrase relatively enduring is also important. Personality is not completely fixed forever, but it tends to show consistency. People can change over time due to experiences, development, relationships, culture, or major life events. But personality traits are usually stable enough that psychologists can study and measure them. So, why do psychologists study personality? Remember that psychology is a scientific study of thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So, personality traits influence how we think, how we feel, and how we act. So, by studying personality, psychologists try to understand differences between people, explain why people behave the way they do, and predict future behavior. An example would be why some people are more resilient under stress, why are some individuals more prone to anxiety, and why do people seek excitement while others avoid risk? Personality psychology helps answer these kind of questions. One major idea in personality psychology is that we can analyze personality at different levels. The first level is individual uniqueness. This refers to the idea that every person expresses traits in their own way. Two people may both be conscientious, but that trait might look very different in practice. The second level is individual and group differences. This examines ways people are similar to some others and different from the rest. For example, psychologists sometimes study average personality differences across genders, cultures, or age groups. And the final level we have is human nature. This refers to characteristics all humans share, such as emotions, attachment needs, or the desire for belonging. So, personality psychology studies what makes us unique, what makes us similar to certain groups, and what makes us fundamentally human. In this course, we're going to study many different theories of personality. An important thing to remember is that personality psychologists generally do not believe there is one single theory that explains everything perfectly. This is honestly all of psychology. Instead, each theory is going to focus on a different aspect of personality. So, for example, trait theories focus on stable characteristics, biological theories focus on genetics, intrapsychic theories focus on unconscious conflicts, cognitive theories focus on thoughts and perceptions, social cultural theories focus on society and environment, and adjustment approaches focus on psychological health and adaptation. Each perspective gives us a part of the whole picture. In psychology, a theory is not just a guess or a personal opinion. A scientific theory is an organized set of ideas that explains observed phenomena and helps predict future observation. So, good theories allow psychologists to organize information, generate hypotheses, and conduct research. Theories are useful because they provide frameworks for understanding human behavior. Psychologists evaluate theories using several important criteria. The first is testability. Can the theory make predictions that can actually be tested scientifically? The second one is comprehensiveness. Does the theory explain a wide range of observations? The third one is parsimony. Is the theory as simple as possible without unnecessary complexity? And the fourth one is heuristics value. Does the theory inspire new research and discoveries? A strong scientific theory is not just an interesting idea, it is useful, it's testable, and capable of generating evidence. To summarize today's lecture, personality psychology studies consistent patterns in thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Personality traits help explain differences between people. Researchers study personality at the levels of uniqueness, group differences, and human nature. Multiple theories are needed to understand personality fully, and scientific theories must be testable and evidence-based. In the next lecture, we'll begin exploring some of these approaches in greater detail, starting with trait theories and how psychologists measure personality scientifically.